Let's bring in criminal defense and trial attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, it's great to have you on. I want to play one more soundbite from Daniel Penny's attorney because it was interesting, the conversation he had with Judge Janine tonight. Now, let's get your take on this. Watch.
Mr. Neely entering the train and acting in a very violent manner, both physically and with words. The mindset is pretty simple. He was fearful for the safety of those passengers. So when he acted, his mindset was to keep his fellow passengers safe from attack.
Trying to keep the passengers safe is what this contention is, Brian, and doing that by the way he was trained as a Marine, which is you grab someone in a chokehold, and that's kind of the contention here. What do you believe?
Yeah, Trace, the Daniel Perry matter needs to be prosecuted, if
Penny.
it is, or I'm sorry, Penny, I'm sorry, it needs to be prosecuted based on the facts and the law, not on politics. Because I'm hearing, $2 million raised, Kid Rock's involved. I know a lot of, Republican people are donating. Then you got AOC on the other side saying, oh, we're not publicly condemning this because he was black and homeless. This needs to be based on the facts. And if you look at the facts, we've got to get footage, right? We need to see the footage inside the subway. We need to see
what happened before and after.
Right, exactly. You got to find out what happened the 15 minutes leading up to the chokehold. Was Neely actually threatening people? Was he, for example, was he brandishing a weapon? Did he physically harm anybody? So we need context. Where is that? Does anybody know where the footage is? We should have the footage. Right?
Somebody has the footage.
Yeah,
Somebody has a lot of footage.
So we need answers there, and then that leads to the next question then. If, for example, if Neely had a weapon, then maybe the chokehold was warranted. But if he didn't have a weapon, he hadn't harmed anybody physically, and Neely is putting on a chokehold that was banned in 1993 by the NYPD, then he might have a problem. He might be facing second-degree murder.
But you don't need to be punched in the face to feel afraid for your life. You don't need to be physically assaulted to feel like you're afraid for your life.
Well, the standard is this. Here's the standard for second-degree murder, second-degree manslaughter in New York. You've got to create an unjustifiable risk, which I think happened here because he had a chokehold for 15 minutes. And then you have to act in conscious disregard for the welfare of Neely. And then here's the key. The prosecutors would have to show gross deviation from what an average person would do. And that's what I'm talking about, though, with the chokehold. Do you exercise a chokehold on somebody for almost 15 minutes when that person hadn't physically harmed anybody? And how's that person posing a risk of imminent harm to Penny if he's laying on the ground? I mean, you've heard that adage, you can't bring a gun to a fist fight. And here, I mean, based on what I'm seeing, I mean, the chokehold initially to bring him down, but to keep the chokehold going for 15 minutes, I think is a little severe.
A former NYPD lieutenant said the following. This is Darren Porcher. Jordan Neely was a person that should have either been incarcerated or placed in a mental health facility. He should not have been on that subway car. As a result, we had Mr. Penny that I feel took appropriate action and attempted to restrain him because he put those people that were on the train in fear of harm. I got about 15 seconds for you.
Yeah,
what would you say to the lieutenant?
Yeah, I think the lieutenant's a little bit off base. I really don't think this is about whether somebody should have been on the street or not. It's about what was appropriate conduct by Penny under the circumstances.
Fascinating. Brian Claypool, great to have you on as always.
Thanks, Trace.